Hi guys, Elle here. Missed you guys so much. I'm back. So look what was waiting for me when I got back from my vacation. Ah! Oh my god, it finally happened. So this has been kind of a crazy year in tarot. There were like 3 decks for me personally that I have been so fucking excited about. Like just waiting with ridiculous amounts of anticipation. It was the Orbifold Tarot that I've had for a little while now. The Tabula Mundi, which just came. Oh my god, filming that next. And this amazingly beautiful deck, the Pagan Otherworlds. I mentioned it before, I had thought that I had pre-ordered this deck, and when I realized that I fucked up somewhere and just didn't order it on accident, I was futzing around in the shop and I realized Uusi is the shop. I hope I'm pronouncing that right? It's Uusi? Uusi. But anyway, I was in the shop going to buy this guy, and I realized that there were 2 other decks that they also created that have been sitting in my wish list for a really long time, and I just bit the bullet and bought the whole darn lot of them. The other one is this guy, the Brut Tarot. It's gorgeous. I'll show you. And this guy, this is a playing card deck. This is a pagan playing card deck. The blue limited edition it is. But this is actually the inspiration for the Pagan Otherworlds. But I'll talk a little bit more about them. I'm going to flip the camera down in a sec and I'll show you guys all these decks. It'll actually go pretty quick because, by the way, the Brut Tarot is playing cards for the minor arcana, and the pagan deck is just playing cards. So we'll really be looking at more of the art on the court cards and the majors and the courts for this guy. So it'll go pretty quick. And I'm totally gonna show you guys the Pagan Otherworlds. It's amazing. Yeah, so by the way, I'm also that girl that vacations in Disney. Look at my souvenir here. How fucking cute! It's Chip. Wait, where's this Chip? There's this Chip. Yeah, I vacation in Disney. I was so against it at first. I'm like, I don't want to go to fucking Disney World and be a crazy tourist and spend all my money on that stupid shit. But I am a convert now. Like, that was the funnest vacation ever. I was like a 5-year-old kid. It's a small world after all. It's fucking great. I got a wand. Harry Potter. That's Voldemort's wand right there. Oh my god! Because we're all a little bit bad, right? Avada Kedavra. Geeking out. I seriously have Mickey Mouse slippers on my feet right now. Amen. Alright guys, let me flip the camera and I'll show you my haul. Okay, hi guys, there we go. Oh look, I decorated for autumn. Happy Samhain to all my pagans and heathens out there. So as you can tell here, this really isn't quite an unboxing video or anything. It's also not quite reviews of all these decks. I've only had them for a little bit. I've only worked with the Pagan Otherworlds just a little bit so far, and it's been amazing. So hopefully, you know, at some point we'll talk about these decks again in much greater detail. They're all available from Uusi.us is the name of the website. It's Linea Gits, Linea or Linea? Linea, I think? Linea Gits, and Peter Dunham. Just they're amazing artists. Check out the website. They also have several other playing card decks out there, including their latest Hyde Park playing card deck, I think it is. But they're gorgeous. I'm obsessed. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go through the 2 other decks first, and then Pagan Otherworlds at the end. Let's start with the Brut Tarot here. And here is the box for the Brut Tarot. Check it out. Oh my god, you guys, their packaging, look at that. It's phenomenal. It's like over the toply good. I was able, all their decks come with like a seal of some sort around the box, and on the 2 tarot decks I was able to not rip into it just by opening it from the other side. I saw a lot of you guys doing that in your videos, and I copied you. What a good idea. So this is what the backs of the cards look like. It's actually it's not white, it's a very, not even off-white, it's like a tan, almost a brownish color. And there's this salmons and grays and tweed colors all in there. It's really interesting backs. They're all reversible. But these are the extra cards that come with the deck here. These 3, form a triptych. Ready? 1, 2, 3. They're like the ad cards. Isn't that gorgeous? And you get an idea what the artwork looks like. Oh my god. You get those guys, and then you also get these 9 here. Let's see if I can get them on the camera. That form like a triple triptych, basically. And there's no, their name's not on it or anything. Can you see the whole thing? Oh, it worked! Sort of. That's just clouds over there. But isn't that beautiful? I mean, I'm not going to use them for divination or anything, but they are gorgeous. This whole deck, by the way, is really, it's a traditional French game-playing tarot, is what this is. Let me open up my packaging here. Okay, there we go. So like I said, it's a traditional game-playing tarot, like that French style where they have not quite Marseille-style pip cards, but more the playing cards, or the minor arcana, excuse me, look like playing cards. And that is exactly what you have here. There's your Ace of Clubs. I think this is also in order of the exact way it came. Check it out. There is your 2 of Clubs. And we keep going through, and they're really beautiful, sort of an off-white color here too. It's lovely. And then you have your Knight, or your C for your Cavalier, I guess. And these are all totally reversible. As you can tell, I actually already went through and marked them, so I'm going to know my uprights from my reversals. Your Jack is your Page here, and your Queen, and your King. How friggin' fascinating is the style of artwork. I can't get over it. I mean, I really enjoy it. It comes from this, they described it as like this brutalism style, art brut or something. It's like this outsider art mixed with this modern early 20th century almost Art Deco style. I'm not much of an art history or art person. That all sounds interesting to me, but just looking at it it's beautiful. I love the way it's done. There's no eyes, nose, and mouth. There's no faces. Even when we get to the major arcana, you'll see that. So sometimes I've seen that style in decks, and it makes it feel really impersonal because you can't get any emotion or anything out of the characters. But I don't feel that way. This deck feels warm. But this really, I mean, the art and the fact that there's playing cards for the minors is really just what I'm like, I have to have this deck. If you're interested in reading with playing cards and a tarot reader, this deck is fascinating. I don't have any of those old style tarot decks where they do similar things to this. I don't think I need one now like this. Oh, look at that Queen of Diamonds. She is my Queen of Pentacles here. Yeah, I don't think I need any of those other decks, those restorations or recreations. This really is just going to be so much fun to play with. Isn't that amazing? All right, let me get to the majors here. You guys get the idea. Let me show you the heart chords real quick. There's your King. There's your Queen. There's your Jack or your Page. And there's your Knight. All the Knights are on horseback too. They're vibrant looking playing cards. They're also not quite standard tarot size. I will do a size comparison to a poker card deck and a tarot card deck in a second for all these decks. Basically, it feels like it's about like playing card width, and there's probably about an extra inch up top to the length of a playing card. But here's your Magician. Look at this. Look at this. Amazing. Your Popess. And even though there's no face, it's evocative still. At least it is for me. I don't know. I really enjoy this. It's this really interesting mix of old meets new. These are all fairly traditional Tarot de Marseille looking major arcana cards here. The Emperor, the Pope. I'm going to try and go quick. I know we got 3 decks to do here. Your Lovers, your classic Lovers. Look at that. I feel like they made this one really look like that idea that one woman is the mother and one is the new bride or something. You just have your Cupid up there in the sun. And your Chariot. Even the horses have no faces. And then, of course, 8 is Justice, following the classic Marseille style and ordering here. Love the Hermit. He's like bearded, but he has no face. It's so good. the cloud detail. It's all amazing. I know you guys may have noticed too on the Pagan Otherworlds deck that has that linen finish. These don't have that. These feel like classic, like bicycle playing card kind of thing. It's lovely card quality. It's really great. And there's Strength. And there's your Hanged Man. Even has there's a lot of classic symbolism all throughout. I love the wide hips of this death figure. Oh, a happy flower. This Temperance card is to die for, is it not? Beautiful. Very geometric, very masculine feeling even, this deck, and I really, really am drawn to that. That good devil. The Tower. The color palette, the whole thing. Like, bravo, guys. This deck is amazing. I'm so glad it finally made its way to me. You can even really see here on the Moon card, look at that. They've honed in on some things that are a little bit more obscure, I think, in old Terre de Marseille decks, right? Often you'll hear one is a wolf, one is a dog, but they look pretty much the same, you know? And here they've clearly made one a dog and one a wolf. I love some of the little details in here. It's just great. That Sun card. Oh, look at this Judgment. Here they made quite a big change with the hand coming down, but oh, it's just gorgeous. It's like a winged hand. I love that figure in the center. It looks like they're actually facing forward instead of back, and yeah, that's good. And the World card is stunning, isn't it? Oh, get this. Check out the Fool. It's like your classic jester card, you know, your Joker card. And they gave him that kind of a catty-looking dog, whatever it is. It still looks like a dog, I guess. Almost fox-like qualities to it. And that's your Fool card. And then you're back to the beginning. So that is the Brut Tarot, guys. Isn't that lovely? And then real quick, here's your standard bicycle card, playing card. Oh, look at this. It's a little bit more narrow than that, I guess, but not by much. You see that? And then, yeah, compared to a Rider-Waite-Smith, these are actually fairly small cards. This is Centennial Rider-Waite-Smith, sort of your classic standard tarot size. And it's, yeah, like what, 3/4 of an inch smaller on all sides. It fits amazingly in your hands. If you guys have interest in this deck and you have small hands, it's a nice feel. So yeah, I think that this is it's going to be a really fun deck to work with. I really enjoy reading with playing cards. That is my #1 reason for getting this deck, because it does have playing card. Pip, Minor Arcana, just wonderful. How cool is that? It also is this worlds collide kind of a deck. It's you know, card games meet mysticism. It's such an interesting concept, and incredibly well executed. The artwork, I think, is just absolutely stunning. There's nothing else quite like this deck. It's really unique. The Brut Tarot, by the way, came out back in 2015, and our next deck here, the Pagan Playing Card deck, here's the box. I did have to break the seal on this one because the bottom of the deck is actually glued shut, so I had to tear into it. And this one came out, I believe, originally in 2014. This is, however, one of the 3 limited editions that are available now. This is the Pagan Blue, just so there's no confusion. There are 2 other Pagan Playing Card decks available on their website. So in all those 3 editions, there's the blue, this one, there's the light, and then there's the dark. All limited edition, all basically the same deck. They come in different colored boxes, they have different backings, and then the 2 extra like wild cards or joker cards they're the same in the other 2 decks, and this one has different ones. Let me show you why I had to get this edition. Because in the other deck, the diptych, or these 2 other ad cards here, is a horse, and in this one, check it out, it's actually 2 wolves, and they're like Gary and Frecky. They talk about that, so you know, I had to get this one, of course. My Nordic wolves here. But that's your 2 extra cards. Okay, here is the backs of the deck. And if you have seen other videos or have the Pagan Otherworlds deck, the back will look really familiar. However, it's not quite exactly the same. I just grabbed, that's 1 card from the Pagan Otherworlds deck. So it's super, super similar. The gold looks a little bit more greenish, I guess, compared to the playing card deck. And the blue in the back is really a little bit different. This is more of like a royal blue. That feels more like a navy blue. But you can see they don't match. They don't really go together, but it's like the same exact design, just a little bit of a different coloring. So this is what's different in the blue edition of these guys also. These 2 amazing Joker cards. Look at what is in the corners, by the way. Little Seed of Lives. You see that? Ah, isn't it beautiful? But this is one of the things that's different from the other 2 limited edition decks that they have out right now. It's hard to describe. It's a similar image, but the images are different. In the blue, there's no fox. It's like, I think the other guy's a little bit creepier, actually. Take a look on their website. It's neat looking. But yeah, this is where the inspiration, they made this deck first, and then got inspired to create that's the postcard that comes with the Pagan Otherworlds deck, by the way. Look at that. They wrote you a little note too. Dear Michelle, thank you for your order with Uusi and Joy. Love when they get so personal like that. Handwritten notes are the bomb. Can you see that? It says Pagan by Uusi up there. And then most of your cards here, these are all hand painted, by the way. You see the difference between this and like the Brut Tarot, where they still look beautiful, all the suit symbols and everything, but they are really, I don't know if the camera's doing this justice, they're like literally all hand painted. And this deck does have that linen finish to it too. Anyway, there's places all over on all the pip cards, on all the numbered cards here where you can tell that the ink is darker and the ink is lighter because it's all hand painted. Like, amazing. Okay, here's our first set of court cards. Do you see how similar that is to the Pagan Otherworlds feel and look? If you haven't seen that deck yet, just hang on. I'm going to show you guys in a sec. I did go through. You'll see little dots. You won't have those on your cards when you get them. I just marked them because most of the cards in this deck are completely reversible. And I like to read reversals. Look at that. You see where Pagan Otherworlds came from, right? It's like its mama. Look at the detail. Even on the swords. Look at that. Oh, focus. There we go. So just like the Pagan Otherworlds deck, look at that ace. All the aces are really cute. Hand painted, hand painted, hand painted. Just like the Pagan Otherworlds deck, though, they're all like traditional oil paintings that just leap out of the card. And they're all inspired by like the Renaissance and this Celtic, British Isles, Scandinavian woodland nature feel. Very pagan feeling too, which is just wonderful. But it definitely has that, there she really has it, that luminous Renaissance quality, as they've called it before. So none of the images here really seem to be like exactly taken from this deck and put into the Pagan Otherworlds or anything, but you can clearly see, especially that one, right, where they got Pagan Otherworlds from there. This is the deck that came first. Oh, look at that. Hello, Yule Queen or something, right? Oh, she's gorgeous. Gorgeous. Oh, and there's your Jack. And I definitely plan on using this as a reading deck. I really am just enamored. My main playing card reading deck has been the Hermes playing card Oracle, and I love that deck, but this one just has such a different feel to it. It'll be fun to work with both of them, I think. Look at that King of Hearts. The animal head. Ah! Amazing. Here's your Queen of Hearts. Here's your Jack. You just have your 3 court cards, obviously, in a regular playing card deck. There's your Ace of Hearts. Details, guys. Look at those details. Unbelievable. And then back to our two. They are the same image. One just has the black or the gray, and the other one has the red. Little, like, flower of life looking guys in the corners. Love. How beautiful is this guy? And just, you know, these guys are kind of more or less traditional playing card size. My traditional bicycle deck here seems to be a slight bit bigger. Can you see that white? But basically same size. Okay, on to the piece de resistance, the Pagan Otherworlds. This deck really is otherworldly. It is so friggin' gorgeous. You want to literally dive into these cards and live in this world. But at the same time, I feel like it's a world that's really our world. It focuses in on the beauty of nature and the beauty of the human body, and I don't know, it's gorgeous. Anyway, here's the box. It is all embossed. It is gilded. That gold glimmers in the light. It has a seal that I was able to avoid breaking there by opening it from the other side. A la that. I have the extra cards in with my deck at the moment. I'll show you guys that. It did come with, like you saw in other people's unboxings, if you've seen them, that gorgeous little piece of sage there. And I got that, like I showed you, the postcard there, which is gorgeous. And then it came with the Uusi sort of canvasy bag here, the drawstring bag. It's a pretty hefty deck. It's big cards, it's thick cards, and that bag does fit it really, really well. But I decided to go my own route. Isn't that pretty? With its gold bag. And I'm definitely gonna edge this deck. Probably an off-white or gold. I don't know. We'll find something fun. Okay, so one of the cool things about this deck is you get a handful of extra cards here. What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You actually get 6 extra cards. Let me show you guys them. This is the extra card called the Seeker. Let me zoom in. Oh my god, look at this. His head. It's piercing through into the night, piercing the veil. This is, what does it say here? Information about the deck. And that, their moons and their suns in this deck are like the most beautiful things I've ever seen in my life. They're so soft and graceful. That's this deck. It's elegant. It's really, really beautiful. And all the writing is just like that. It's all done by hand by Peter Dunham. Isn't that amazing? And then these have those beautiful linen finish to the cards. So it feels, you can feel it. It's lovely. It's just like what I have on the Terror of the Holy Light, I think is actually the only other deck that I have that has that sort of a linen finish, and I love it. Anyway, that's your extra card. If I keep it in the deck, which I probably won't, I'll probably just display this card, but what I tend to do, especially with cards like this, I've done it with the Fountain Tarot too. They have that one extra card called the Fountain. But I kind of look at them as the two sides of the Fool or something like that. One, the old Fool maybe becomes either the finish or the start, and this other card, the Osho card too, I do the same thing because one's the Master. So it's sort of like that. One's the Master and one's the Initiate kind of thing. I love that they call this the Seeker. I think it's perfect. He's a bit more awakened or something. Gorge. Okay, these are super fun too, you guys. A lot of times when decks come with extra cards, they're cool to play with, but I do end up just sort of setting them aside or using them for display. I fully intend on utilizing these cards. I don't think I'm going to keep them in the deck, but I've already played around with it a little bit, keeping them, you know, on top of the deck or something, or on the side, and using them as a way to see if a situation is coming to fruition, is coming to an end. Because here, let me lay them out for you. Oh, that one's a little hard to see. Whatever, you get the idea. They are moon phases cards. Come on, how great is that? All the gold, by the way, on like the full moon here, and then in all the other places where you have light, is like this actual reflected, embossed, gilded kind of gold thing going on. It's gorgeous. But actually, I know it looks like you only have 5 moon phases here, but you really do get all, what is it, 8 moon phases here. These two cards, the full moon and the new moon, or the dark moon are completely reversible, same either way. However, these guys, when you reverse them, you get the opposite, right? So here you see that these three are all, they're waxing, right? They're all waxing, and you can tell, you know, if you're not sure what side is what, if you get a little confused, the bottom, there's the signature. So basically when all these cards are upright, these three anyway, they're waxing moons. So they're growing, they're going towards brightness, towards the full moon. You have your waxing gibbous here, you have your first quarter here, and then you have your waxing crescent. And then if you just reverse the cards, this is how it gives you all 8 moon phases. How great is that? Now they're all waning moons. So you have your waning crescent, you have your last quarter, and you have your waning gibbous. So yeah, they're really great. You have to sort of use them with reversals to be able to get all the moon phases in there, but why not? It's so good. I love it. And it's just 5 extra cards. So you get 6 extra cards total. This is the backs, by the way. It doesn't have that gold like is on the moons here. Those are not on the backs, and I don't think that they're anywhere else in the deck actually really either. It's just on those few moon cards. It's a nice, subtle, wonderful, again, another wonderful little detail. So the extra cards in this deck are just, they're good. Like, they're really good. All right, guys, let's do the rest of the deck. There's your Fool. So most of the images for the major arcana, I feel like they've taken from Marseille and from Rider-Waite, basically. You'll see a lot of the details from both decks represented in here. You even see some Rider-Waite. Yeah, you see Rider-Waite and Marseille in the minors too, but it certainly isn't a traditional like Terra Marseille pip deck. Even though it leans more towards a pip style deck. There's little illustrations you'll see when we get to the minors that sort of scream Rider-Waite Smith on a few of the cards, which is really funny, or just fun, which is great. You know, why not? Like there's a boat, I think, on the six of Swords. Like you don't see that anywhere else but in a Rider-Waite Smith. So if you do only work with Rider-Waite and you're a little concerned about these sort of not super pictorial minors that you'll see in this deck, I think there's ways around it. You know. See what I mean about the writing? Look at that, the Empress. Look at the detail. There's like an orb in her, what do you call that? Wand. Staff, thank you. And she's holding the Venus symbol, just like the Empress and the Rider-Waite. There's your Emperor. He's got that same animal head that we saw in the Pagan playing card deck. Oh, it's so good. Here's your Hierophant, called the Hierophant. The borders here are completely not bothersome or obtrusive. The colors are just... I don't even know what to say about this deck. It's so beautiful. I want to jump into these cards. He looks like Thor. I love him. Great Chariot. And then just like the Rider-Waite, you do still have Strength at 8 here, not Justice. And can I just say, I love this swap. Not seeing a lion here and seeing a bear. Holy fucking shit, what a brilliant switch I think that is. You know, just everything that the bear really represents, you know. They're brave, they're strong, they're ferocious, they're very strong mothers. They're peaceful at the same time. They're friends to human. They're human-like, the way they stand on 2 legs, and Ursa Major, and powerful warriors. I don't know. I just think it's a beautiful substitution for the lion. I really like that, and I think it's neat that, you know, they're not clones. None of these cards are clones of the Rider-Waite Smith or the Marseille, really, but they're still very easily recognizable. Like, you know, there's your Hermit, clearly. There's your Wheel of Fortune. You still have 3 beings. Usually there's like 3, you know, gunas or whatever around the wheel, right? You have a lion, you have a bear, and a stag of some sort over there. And the wheel itself is just beautiful. It reminds me of a Buddhist wheel, right? And nature everywhere. I think that's what gives this deck its universal appeal. I feel like anybody will be able to connect with this deck because we all can connect with nature, you know? it's lost. This deck doesn't have, you know, any esoteric occult symbolism, you know, in your face. You know, it's not symbols everywhere, and yet it still captures all the ancient tarot symbolism that it needs to capture in order to still be this great tarot deck. Look at Death. This is so unique. Look at the way Death's wings are created out of arrows. Stunning. Absolutely stunning. Oh, this is probably one of my favorite cards so far. That's Temperance. Ugh. Like, speechless. It's so beautiful. I've heard other people say when they're talking about this deck, they're like, that is just a world that I want to live in. I want to jump into. I think a lot of times, Renaissance art especially, and this really does have this strong Renaissance vibe to it still. There's only one person falling from the tower, but love this card. It's a woman, and it almost looks like a crown broke off up there still. And it's just this really subtle, ooh, it's actually hard to even see. There's a lightning bolt striking the tower up there, and then flames. You see that? What was I saying? Oh, the Renaissance. Sometimes the Renaissance artwork is, I don't know, the women are so diminutive? What the fuck is the word? You know what I mean? And I don't know, so like a lot of the imagery of the Christian, strong Christian imagery is hard to look at. It's violent, and I don't always, I have a hard time with it sometimes. And this really just hones in on this softness and this power, and this just, it brings it all back down to earth and back to nature. Like I said before, the suns and the moons are just insanely good. Look at that peaceful moon. I love this moon card. I love how it's nature that creates the tower, and instead of a path, you have this this archway. Oh, so good. And there's no crayfish or anything coming out of the water, but you still have a pool of water down here. I love that it's nature that creates everything that the tarot, you know, usually gives us a little bit differently. Look at the face of that sun. I can't. It is so beautiful. I feel like, you know, there's this understanding here of that there is a spirit in the sun, that the sun is alive, you know? They've imbued it, they've anthropomorphized it beautifully, but, you know, I really believe that, you know, sun and moon are gods, you know? They are consciousness in and of themselves. Judgment. And the world. Oh. This card is gorgeous, too. She's not shy. It's okay. All right, guys. On into our minors. Let me go a little bit quicker here. The aces are very simple, like this. All the aces really remind me of Marseille aces, although the Rider-Waite-Smith aren't too different anyway. Here's your 2. So very Marseille, sort of, right? But it still has, you know, plenty you can draw from if you need to relate it back to a Rider-Waite-Smith. I like that it actually it even has that. Look at that water underneath and the little island, mountain, land, whatever in the background there. In the background of the Rider-Waite-Smith, you know, you sort of see that. There's these great little touches that make you remember the Rider-Waite-Smith image or something very recognizable about that card. So I really, while a lot of people are just calling it a pip deck, I don't think that most of us would really have a hard time reading with this deck, though. Look, they've constructed something. This looks almost man-made, this rock formation here. There's so much you can look into here. Here's your 4 of discs, and there's a big chest over here, and a key, you know, storing things. Just like you sort of, like the guy holding on to the coins in the Rider-Waite-Smith. You know, why is the 5 a winter scene? Maybe that's because what you see on the Rider-Waite-Smith card is a winter scene, you know, snow falling. So I think this would be a really an okay deck for people to to use. I know we just did that video not too long ago about breaking the Rider-Waite-Smith habit. I think this would actually be a great deck for doing that because, you know, it does look incredibly different, but there's something on every card that will, I think, remind you of that deck in particular. So it's cool. This one might be a little bit more difficult, but I like that give and take. I could see that in the butterflies there almost. That harmony. Here is your 7. Oh, I said I was going to go quicker. I lied. Here's your 8 of coins, of pentacles. Your 9. Look at that. You have this gorgeous falcon up at the top. I really love that card. One of my favorites. Oh, and your 10. Look at that. Those dogs are gorgeous. All right, here is our court cards. Here's your Page of Pentacles. I know. He's like wearing nature. They all are. It's so good. Dressed in it. Here's your Knight. The only complaint maybe that I have with this deck, and it's not really a complaint because it is really such a classic Renaissance style deck still, Queen of Pentacles. Look at that. Is that, I don't know, I guess if I were to do it, I would have messed with the sexes maybe a little bit, the Page and the Knight. 3 out of the 4 court cards here are male, but you know, you find that in most decks, so it's okay. But I would have loved to seen some either all female pages or, you know, a couple female pages or knights thrown in there. Would have been lovely. It is also, you know, a very European looking style deck. It's got that continental European Renaissance, you know, look to it, and in keeping with that, other people look like they belong there, I guess. I love how classic this Queen of Wands is. Check her out. That's your Knight of Wands. Oh my god, I love that deer. Aren't they gorgeous? And there's your Page of Wands. Yeah, that's happening. It's like wearing a lion or something. And a pine tree. Alright, these are what your wands look like. That's your 10. That's your 9. These are in such a weird order, sorry. Very familiar. Very familiar. I love the 2 of Wands. Yeah, if you really look, I'm not going to go through here right now, but there's something in like almost every card that kind of screams Rider-Waite, which is cool. I just love that Ace of Cups. 2 of Cups. Those 2 formations. Ugh. All about nature. All about nature. 3 of Cups. The abundance, the growth down there. You have 4 even. Look at how it's arranged just like the Rider-Waite-Smith. Same with the 5 of Cups here. 3 are upside down, 2 are upright. Look at the bottom. Isn't that gorgeous? The skull. And your 6 of Cups. Oh, this is a really pretty card, but it very, very Rider-Waite-Smith again. How cool is that? There's different scenes, different images up there. Very reminiscent. Oh, I love this one. I think just because I love the moons. Look at that. That looks very Rider-Waite-Smith. And there's your 9 of Cups. 10 of Cups. There's your Page. He's so buff, this guy. So these are all like on the seashore. That Knight is just so powerful. Look at the wings on his head. Your Queen. Can't tell if it's like seashells in her hair. I think it is. She's holding a rock or an egg. There's no book, actually, guys, that comes with this deck. No little white book. You know, you read into these cards what you want to read into these cards. The paintings are stunning, though, aren't they? There's your King of Swords. That's him. That's what's on my postcard there. My King of Swords. And his bear getup. Oh, and my Queen. Beautiful. Knight of Swords. Page of Swords. This bear pelt. Birds flying up there. Like you just feel like you're sucked into them and you're there. They really create a scene. Oh, this is one of my favorites too. Look at that. That is your Nine of Swords. Look at that swan chained up. Oh, amazing. There's your Eight of Swords. Creates like a wall or a fence. So perfect. 7, your Seven of Swords. I love how the sword here is like the flag is attached to the sword. They're waving that victory flag maybe, or a sign of surrender, the white flag. You can read into that. This is the one I was thinking about before, the Six of Swords with the boat. See what I mean? They are Rider-Waite-Smith derived, I guess you could say. And I just love that. Even the sword, they're arranged the same way. It's great. They're arranged the same way. 4 swords in the Rider-Waite-Smith swords look just like that. That's under, you know, the guy in the coffin or whatever. Very classic 3 of Swords. And your 2 of Swords. Ace of Swords. Classic. The end! We're back! The Fool is numbered, by the way. It's 0, just like your Rider-Waite. Did it look the whole time like I was going to set these cards on fire, by the way, with the flame right there? There's actually quite a bit of distance between that. Let me just grab a couple cards. I'll show you guys a little size comparison. No, we don't need the playing card, but anyway, but the playing card looks like that. Very different. And compared to a standard Centennial Rider-Waite-Smith, the cards are quite a bit bigger. Good, I don't know, 1/4 and a half inch bigger, something like that. I never say the sizes of the cards because I feel like it doesn't mean anything to me unless I see it compared to something else. They feel very similar in size to the Terror of the Holy Light. They shuffle the same. They feel like they're about the same thickness with that linen finish on both decks also. But they shuffle fantastic. They're a nice size. They're not too big. But this deck, guys, it's a friggin' adventure, you know? It's exciting, it's positive, it's magical, it's beautiful, it's everything I was hoping it would be, and more. The detail is incredible. So check this deck out. All these decks are available at the time that I'm making this video at Uusi.us. Sound like an advertisement. But I love it, and I love you guys, and I will see y'all real soon. Bye.